Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Anthony here, Commanderastig RC, back in my RC station again here today. Today we're going to take a look at the Radiolink RC6GS version 2. This is a 6-channel, 10 memory radio. I just want to give a big thanks to Radiolink for sending this out for me to try out today. They actually sent me the version 1 of this radio a couple months back. Here it is right here. And actually just started messing around with this maybe a week or two ago. I was able to link it to my Talion for my last bash. You guys can check out that video if you haven't. I'll leave the link in the description below. I gotta say, man, I'm really starting to like this radio. It has tons of features. It's fairly comfortable. It has a nice feel to it. It has that 600 meter in range, which is pretty incredible to me. The biggest thing for me is the responsiveness when it comes to steering and throttle. It's very snappy. I didn't have any lag issue whatsoever. So I have a really good experience with this radio. So I might use this as my main radio moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. But I really have a good experience with this radio so far. So let's check out this version 2 right here and see what kind of changes they have on it compared to the version 1. It's a 6-channel radio. It has fail-safe, self-setting, 600 meters ground distance, which is pretty incredible to me. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be driving that far with my truck, but that's going to be a pretty awesome feature for a lot of speedrun guys out there. Customizable gyro sensitivity. It has a programmable dual mix control. It has a gyro integrated, which is pretty awesome for this radio. It has tons of features going for it. Just to name a few that stands out to me is this USB upgrade, meaning you can actually upgrade the firmware on the radio, which is pretty nice. And the other feature that I really like is this customizable low voltage alarm. That means you can set an alarm for the Lipo that you have in your car and also the Lipo that powers your radio, if you choose a Lipo to power your radio. The other feature that stands out to me is this real-time model battery voltage telemetry, meaning you can actually monitor the battery voltage of your Lipo on your car, as well as the Lipo that powers your radio as well. And lastly, you have an option to power this radio either 2S to 4S Lipo or 6 AA batteries, which is pretty awesome. I actually decided to use a Lipo to power up my version 1 right here. And I'm going to show you the type of Lipo battery that fits in this radio in a little bit. So let's open this up and see what we get in the box, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison to the version 1 and look at some of the physical changes that they have on this version 2. Alright, so let's do that. Here we go. Alright, so what do we get in the box? First off, we have this little congratulatory note. It says, congratulations, you have got the 2020 latest RC6GS V2 version. If you look at the diagram right here, they actually highlighted some of the physical changes that they did to this version 2. So we're going to take a look at that in a little bit. So we have a manual right here. We got Chinese on this side, and we have English on this side. I highly recommend you guys skip this manual because this radio has tons of features. It's always good to have a manual to go back to if you're not sure about some of the settings and some of the features and things like that. So I highly recommend you keep this. Alright, what else do we have? We have a lanyard right here, a strap. Here is the receiver that it came with. It's R7FG version 1.2. It has a dual integrated antenna right there. This is what's going to give you that 600 meters distance, which is again pretty incredible if you ask me. This connector right here is what gives you the battery voltage telemetry to the radio, so you can monitor the remaining voltage of your Lipo battery on your car, which is kind of nice. But what I actually end up doing is using this to hook up my Lipo to power the radio, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. So here is the radio. As you can see right off the bat, it's pretty identical to the version 1, to be honest with you. You can see right there, there's not really a whole lot of change in terms of the overall design of the radio, and it looks like it's just about the same size as well. It has the same antenna. The steering wheels looks about the same to me. The base of the radio looks about the same to me as well. The foam looks and feels about the same to me as well. I actually like the foam that they have on here. It's nice and grippy. It just have that nice grip to it, which I really like. So that's always nice. But I do see some of the physical changes that they did to the version 2. So let's go over that real quick. First off, they have this strap hook right here. That's where your lanyard attached to, so you can loop it around your neck and keep it close to you. The next step is this screw hole right here on top of the radio. This is where you can actually mount your FPV monitor if you are into the sort of things. But I'm wondering, you might be able to mount your action camera on here. Let me see if I can pop that cover. So here it is, guys. As you can see, you can definitely mount your action camera on this thing. That is a pretty awesome mounting option right there. That's pretty cool. If you do decide to mount your action camera right here, I would recommend maybe using a little bit longer arm and fold the antenna and swing it to the side right there, so that way it's not blocking the view of the camera. But again, that's a pretty awesome mounting option right there. I normally use a head mount for my action camera and strap it on my head. I might experiment with this and maybe hook up a different camera and see what kind of footage and camera angle we can get with this mounting option right there, which is, again, that's pretty awesome. I don't know if the camera can actually focus on this, but the handle on the version 2 is a lot slimmer compared to the version 1. The upper neck handle of the version 2 is on the flat side, compared to the version 1 is more rounded, as you can see right there. I don't know if you noticed that he actually upgraded the trigger as well. And one thing I noticed is if you look at the trigger, there's actually a little bit of groove right there to give you a little bit of a better grip, as you can see right there. I don't know if you can see that, but the version 1 is just nice and smooth and a little bit slippery right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's nice, paying attention to details right there. And the other thing I have noticed is this button right here, the SWA button, is now located at the bottom of the radio right here at the upper neck of the handle. And they also added another channel button right here, right on the handle. I have noticed that this version 2 right here is geared pretty heavily on the crawler side of things. So if you are a crawler, this is going to be an awesome option for you. And there you go. That's pretty much all the changes that I have seen so far on the version 2. Again, not a whole lot has changed in terms of the overall design of the radio, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, I have been enjoying this version 1 right here for a couple of weeks now, and I had a good experience with it. It's very, like I said, it's very comfortable. One thing that I really noticed that is big for me is the responsiveness when it comes to steering and throttle. I don't have any range issue whatsoever, so far I'm really liking it. And I won't be surprised if this version 2 right here is twice as better compared to the version 1. So I'm really excited to get this thing out there and, you know, take advantage of some of the changes that they have here on this version 2. Like I was saying earlier, this radio has a 10 memory built into it, meaning you can actually link up to 10 tracks to this radio, which is pretty incredible if you ask me. So like I was saying earlier, guys, this radio uses 6 AA batteries, which is quite a lot if you ask me. But you do have an option to actually use a Lipo battery in this. What you do is just pop this battery tray right here, and as you can see, it has plenty of room for a Lipo battery, and you have an option from 2S to 4S to use to power up this radio. As you can see, there's a port right there at the bottom, which what I did on my version 1. I have a Lipo battery in there. Just use a little Gorilla Tape right there just to help the battery cover properly stay in there nice and secure. And here is the battery that I have used on my version 1 right here. It has a perfect dimension. You're not gonna have an issue fitting this into this radio. So like I was saying earlier, this connection right here, this is not the connector to power your radio, but you can actually use it. If you have an XT90, all you gotta do is just pop it in there and hook this in there. Alright, so I have the Lipo in there now, properly in and secured. I'm gonna put the link where I got this Lipo in the description below, so you guys can check out that Lipo if you choose to use this to power your radio. Obviously Lipo is going to be better. It's going to last a lot longer. So it's one of those things where you can just set it and forget it. And not only that, you can actually monitor the remaining voltage of that Lipo that you have in there powering your radio, so which is a pretty awesome feature. Navigating this radio is pretty easy, guys. To get to the main menu, all you gotta do is press the exit and the enter button at the same time. So you can see these 2 buttons in the middle right here is what you're gonna be pressing to go up and down through your menus right here. As you can see, so if you want to set your language, you press enter. So you have Chinese or English, or usually English. Then you can exit out of there, and then you can go to your model, and you have up to 10 model, as you can see. So that's pretty awesome. Like I said, this radio right here has tons of features. This is probably the most featured pack radio for under $100 I have come across with, and that is pretty awesome if you ask me. I highly recommend you guys take your time, go through each feature and to see what suits your needs. Version 2 is heavily geared towards a crawler side of things, so if you're a crawler, this is going to be an awesome radio for you. And obviously the 600 meter range That's gonna be an awesome golden feature for a lot of speedrun guys out there. So there you have it, guys. That's the Radiolink RC6GS 6-channel 10 memory radio. I can't wait to take this out there and try it out for myself, see how this thing performs compared to the version 1. Again, big thanks to Radiolink for sending this out for me to try out today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.